Hey, what's up? Chuck here. I'm going to talk to you about the 1899 Savage. So, little heads up there. I guess the last video I called an octagon barrel a hex barrel, and I said it was a boy's gun, but don't really care. You can make your own video if you want. But yeah, I'm going to talk about this one here, and we'll see how it goes. The 1899 Savage, it has a little bit of a Canadian roots to it too, because in World War One, the Montreal Home Guard was told they gotta buy rifles, so they went and bought the 303 Savage, and it was a musket version because it had a lug nut on the front there, and it had the military stock on it. And they got 2,500 of them. They were given the option to have their name stamped or engraved on the left-hand side of the receiver. So if you have one, and you look at the left-hand side and there's a stamp or an engraving on it, you might have one of those 2,500 guns. Take a look at it. It's going to be worth something. The 1899 Savage came out 1899 until 1998. They made over 1 million of these things. 1960s, they made the millionth gun. And yeah, they're pretty popular. It was America's deer hunting gun, basically. The came in all different rounds, 300, 30, Craigs, everything. In pretty much any kind of caliber out there. What they were making them in that size. This one here was built in 1912. I looked it up. The serial number is located usually right here, right where my finger is across, because I don't really want to show it. But if you look on the front side of there, it's going to be a little circle. This one doesn't have it, but there's going to be a circle with a model number, or it'll be on the top side of the serial numbers, and then you'll be able to figure out that way. This one's got a brass rotary magazine on the inside. So the thing about that is that it changed was that you could start using spies or pointed rounds, which is better than the tubular magazines, which you couldn't use pointed rounds in. So the ballistics were a lot better, and yeah. So when you loaded it, you just took your round and you just dropped it in and then pushed it around, and then the next one, and then it rotated the rounds went in. And then this one has a, lots of them don't, little cutout there. And then as that brass rotary magazine rotates, there was, you see the numbers. So as you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, it going there, 1, 2, 3, 4, as it rotates, right? Because they're stamped. They got aluminum, steel, all kinds of different ones. And then some of the newer versions, they actually had a box magazine that came, that you could pop out there and then load those rounds and then put them back in. Yeah, so this is a takedown one. And then once you actually cocked it, you can put that little slide. There's a little slide here. You can lock that up, and that kept the lever from opening. And if you're walking through the bush, and it also kept it unsafe. You just slide that back, and then you could shoot the rifle. And then yeah. So another thing about this one is there's a little nub on the top. So as I cocked it, that little nub went down, and it tells me that it's cocked, ready to go for action, right? So when you fired it, that nub went down. So this is a takedown one. So to take it apart, opened it, pulled down on the little nub there, and then front forestock comes off, and then all you do is just rotate a quarter of a turn, and then it comes apart. And you can put it in a box, and then that's how a lot of the rich guys went on the trains and things like that, planes. You can actually put them in a box and carry it, and they went hunting that way. So yeah, this one's 303. You can get them in 410. They had 410 shot shell barrels. They had all kinds of different barrels that you can go with chambered, and they were chambered in all kinds of different rounds. So yeah, put it back together. Make sure it's all the way down. You want to make sure that this goes all the way in, because you can put it like this. So you want to make sure that it locks all the way down so that it's not going to catch, and that the barrel is nicely seated and tight, so you're not going to be wiggling or it's loose in there. And then on the bottom, I don't know if I can show you that. There you got a little inlet there, and then on the front stock you got a piece right there, so that slides in there. That holds the barrel from twisting out and opening up. And then yeah, you just close it and off you go. So that's a little bit about the 303 Savage. And yeah, there's the round, and then everybody knows what a 5.56 looks like, so there you can see the size differences. But it was a thinking man's deer gun because it went smaller rounds, so 30 caliber, 311. So yeah, it's a smaller, bottleneck rounds is when they actually came out with those, and it was a lot better. This one shoots pretty good. A little bit about them though is they split. Very often they all split. The older ones, they split here because the wood was split open like that. So this one here, it's all, you can see it's split like that. So if you have one of them, try not to shoot them because the stalks like to split pretty bad. You can get them taken apart and inlet a little bit, but yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna try keeping these videos under 6 minutes, under 7 minutes, definitely under 10, just so people aren't getting bored. Okay, later. If you got anything, just let me know, and I'll try to find it. If you got a rifle you want me to do a thing about, I'll see if I got one, and or I can get one, and I'll talk about it. Later.